Alrighty, I have started the recording. Who would like to give a retelling of the previous session for a free character point? And to let everyone know exactly what situation you're in.
Yeah, so last session, a bunch of, from Daska's perspective in any case, a bunch of unimportant stuff happened while I was attempting to get my crew onto the other ships. Then we had a big party, which I attempted to take credit for. And everything was kind of running smoothly, but then we discovered that there's a gigantic, fireman's chain of zombies that are apparently carrying all of our treasure away, which is being dropped off the bottom of the ship. We do have control of the doors, however. And we still have a few copies left over. And I think we also have some sort of disgusting zombie fish because nobody can control actual fish, so we killed one and then raised it because that's how we roll.
That is correct. Enjoy your character point. The key obstacles at the moment are, as you mentioned, that you have a your treasure is being basically chucked overboard in secret by the mining cooperative people and picked up by zombies controlled by one of the necromancers they've recruited, who is probably on the other ship. But the other problem that you guys have also is that your access to the doors, which would let you potentially get some of this treasure and stop them from dumping the rest of it overboard, is going to run out, basically. Your access to the doors is restricted to some area around Celebre. You guys haven't calculated how far yet, but the further away you get, the shorter a period the doors stay open, and at some point they simply won't open. So those are the challenges presented to you. In terms of the zombie chain, you do have a choice. You could try to just stop them from throwing any more treasure over and try and just keep whatever's left. Or you can try and get to wherever the zombies are taking it and get the whole load. Also, there are explosives in some of the carriages, and it looks like the TIA is well on their way to their plan to blow up these 3 ships when you get within sight of Half-Elven. That may be working to your advantage or against you, depending on how you plan to handle these other challenges.
The problem with letting the zombies take it to wherever they're taking it is that we don't know where that is.
At least not yet.
But yeah.
Could someone just dress up like a zombie and then just go follow them?
They have to hold their breath.
Yeah, just some sort of magic. Just magic solves everything. This is like Barnabas's perception of magic.
All problems can be solved by magic.
He's almost not wrong, though.
Barnabas is actually all of the zombies at once, right now.
Actually, I could look like a zombie, but
it wouldn't be convincing for the zombies, most likely.
So you want Avatala to solve this? We need a costume and magic.
Yeah, I could make someone look like a zombie. I just don't know how to handle the whole breathing thing.
I'm still not sure what dressing up like a zombie is accomplishing. Don't get me wrong, I like the idea.
Charles is still in control of a zombie fish.
No, that would be...
That would be Avatala.
I'm in control.
Oh, you're in control. Oh my goodness, that's right. I forgot about that. That's right. Charles is working on the doors. Is that right?
I was going to go downstairs and work on stuff.
So At present, all 3 ships are tied together in the sort of post-party cleanup that you convince them to do. So they're waiting until midday before untying the ships. So you've got a few hours to try and do whatever you can while the ships are together. And then at that point, the ships will be separated again. You at present have 2 functioning doors.
So just where my head was going with this is the doors are going to be, they're functioning now, but they're not going to be functioning for long. Someone is getting someone is intercepting the treasure and taking it somewhere. Maybe we just let them keep doing that, and then we find out where that is, and then we go get the treasure, and then let the ships blow up. Sure, well, we're already off the ships. We got our treasure and profit.
I feel like you forget that these are my ships.
Oh, do you want these ships?
I kind of want the ships.
So you're saying you can't buy any more ships with the mounds and mounds of money you have?
But they won't be these ships. Look how pretty they are. I don't even know the names of the ships, but they're really pretty.
Look, I'll
Alright.
buy you new ships with some of my share.
What about the people?
So on
Daska
day
shrugs and says, they know what they signed up for. Or they don't, but it doesn't matter. Says, my main concern is that I don't really like ships. I'm not a ship person or a boat person. I don't even know the difference between a ship and a boat. It doesn't really matter. It's like but the fundamental problem, and I kind of look around, is like I don't see land anywhere, and that's a problem. So I think we need a ship at least for a little while, and then I look at the door and I was like, maybe not. Maybe we don't need a ship for a little while. I don't know, but I don't understand how this magic stuff works.
So
All right.
at the moment, your current understanding, as you guys are gathered in your cabin figuring things out, your current understanding is that somebody working for the mining cooperative, or some group of them, are using the doors that they have, which don't really lead to the cavern. They just lead into their little rooms in the cavern. They're using those doors to get the treasure out, and they're tossing the treasure overboard. If you stop them from doing that, then you can, from the other side, just turn off their doors, break open their vaults, and take that stuff. And that stuff will be in Celebre in a cave.
Yeah. Also, on day 19, we know where the necromancer is, right? Because then
Yes.
Charles running the necromancer. So Rorik just needs to kick the crap out of the necromancer on day 19. And Charles needs to be the one controlling the zombies now from day 19.
Chris, have I mentioned how much I love your big brain? How many points does he have to tax to do that, huh? Like
2. That's it.
sick,
Just 2.
hell yeah.
Let's go.
I mean, or I could tax none and you guys could just tax them yourself. It doesn't matter.
All right, I pulled up day 19. You're right. That's when they recruited them. No, wait, I'm sorry. Day 19? Oh, you're in Sleeper in day 19. Okay.
I hope it's not after day 19 because the timeline ends on day 19 on the thing.
Yeah,
so.
I'm sorry. That's my fault. I stopped
all right.
keeping track so much after you guys got to Sleeper. Things kind of got crazy.
It's okay. Things have been busy.
So we're rewinding to when Tice discovered the zombies were set loose from the graveyard?
Yeah, I was trying to look at the details because I remember he took over some of the zombies and got them to explode early, and I thought that we saw the necromancer running away.
So you didn't see the necromancer running away. What happened was after he detonated them, he went back to the graveyard, summoned ghosts, and found a ghost that that saw the necromancer raise the zombies. And he got information from that ghost about a conversation that necromancer had in a bar with Slifan, which connected it back to the mining cooperative.
Gotcha. So we know where the necromancer is in raising the zombies from the ghost. The ghost told us where he would be when raising the zombies.
Where he was when he raised the zombies, yes.
So Rourke just needs to be there when he goes to the cemetery. which is probably the worst place to fight a necromancer.
I
But we know. Well, I mean,
could probably do it alone, but it would be very fucked up.
Is there
Well-
any?
Go ahead.
I was gonna suggest maybe there's some way we could like combine flashback powers to make that even more successful. But I need to look to see how we might do that.
I mean, this is a very clever plan to have been in control of the zombies all along. I love this idea, but yeah, there needs to be a way that you have previously executed it.
well, yeah. Charles has to go with you. Charles has to be there. Rorik has to be there. I don't know. Dasco, is there anything that you could have gotten that would help them in the fight?
I mean, I'm currently carrying a bag full of satchel charges, so I don't know. And I could have gotten anything.
Yeah. So anything that makes necromancers not so amazing.
I mean, I had a really nice axe a while ago.
Don't think that's what he meant, but it does apply.
The key to making this work is that Rourke needs to be able to beat the crap out of this necromancer to the point where they are intimidated and will go back and lie to their leader about having controlled the zombies.
Could, theoretically, Barnabas have gone and convinced the necromancer to go away from the cemetery afterwards? So they would have just immediate access to a billion corpses.
I mean, I could go back in time and just like cut them in on the deal.
Actually, that is Evitala's specialty, is bribery.
Yeah,
right?
that is mine.
I don't want to share with this asshole.
Oh.
Who hired them? Mining co-op?
The mining cooperative followed you guys into the. They were following you guys and doing recruiting, and they managed to get ahead of you at one point at the necromancer town. So they managed to recruit some people from the necromancer town and then get around you, and they left some people behind to try and delay you to make sure they could get through the portal to Celebre before you guys.
Hang on. We know that the necromancer was having a conversation in a bar with Slafon. What if that wasn't Slafon? What if that was Barnabas pretending to be Slafon?
Barnabas, do you think you could roll well enough to disguise yourself as not a dwarf?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if I had some sort of stilts, I would imagine, like, as a master of disguise, I've figured out ways to make myself look taller.
Dasco shrugs and just says, "Just because we made an agreement with someone doesn't mean we have to actually honor it." And then he kind of looks around for a second. He says, "I mean, present company excluded, of course."
Ah, so we could make an agreement with him, but then double cross him.
He's like, and Dasco says, "It's not a double cross if you don't read the fine print, or if the fine print is not written. Then, I mean, it's not my fault."
It's like the demon who gives you a business card, and on the card is written, "By accepting this card, you have accepted this contract."
Wouldn't I?
People just need to be very specific about their business arrangements, and they need to be extremely careful about who they go into business with. I myself am extremely careful on these things.
Could Tice, I don't know, there's some necromantic thing you do, like trap this guy's soul in something or whatever, so he can still do whatever, but basically we have something over him. He's really not as effective anymore, and he has to work with us or listen to us in order to get it back.
Wait, what? Sorry.
Could he do some sort of weird necromantic thing and like while he's still alive, like the guy's still alive, right? Trap his soul or something? Because they were doing that at the casino, right? Trading parts of people's soul and stuff,
Yes,
gambling on them.
they were doing that.
Yeah. Could he basically, instead of the guy giving up his soul to gamble, could he tear part of it away or whatever, so that we have something to hold over the guy besides just beating him up?
They
Want me
could
to
get into
start?
a fight, and yeah, you could try and attack him and tear a piece of his soul out with magic. That would be a magic fighting thing. We don't really
Yeah,
have a
that's-
flashback for getting Tyson to a magic fight. But I would say that your flashback could allow you to attach Tice to a Rourke flashback.
Doesn't he? I mean, he totally has his baker's necromancer.
Yeah, Tice, what
Yeah.
is your flashback power?
I can find out like a secret.
He can use necromancy to acquire the needed information. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So getting information.
I think our best bet might be making a deal with the person, because I don't think we're otherwise going to get control of the zombies. Unless our flashback can completely erase the fact that the zombies are even here.
No.
No, my
You-
plan would be, my original plan was that we remove this guy from the picture and Tice was the one controlling the zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
your
they
flashbacks
think they're
cannot erase material facts, but they can recontextualize them. So there are zombies down there, but you could recontextualize them as working for you.
So the way I've said it is that we have two options with these flashbacks. Is the one is to beat the crap out of them, the other was for me to come and all the deal and betray him. With the betrayal happening sometime in the future.
Yep. Can you buy this guy? Can you smash him? Can you take his place?
This is sounding more like 3D chess.
It's time travel chess with bars of gold. This is exactly what the time travel powers are for. Like the
Yeah,
whole
but-
point of flashback powers is exactly this kind of thing.
I'm just trying to think of an opportunity where I would have intercepted this necromancer.
Well, you just meet him in the graveyard. Or on the way to the graveyard. We know when he meets Stefan, and we meet him outside. Follow him down the street, and then make him an offer he can't refuse.
You'd have to be probably day 18 at some point after talking to your uncle and cousin at the docks. Because after you regroup at the inn, you gave Charles some money to go buy a bag of holding. That's about midday. Like you had some time in there to interject.
Yeah.
All right.
You already have a flashback there where you went and bribed the owner of the shop that you sent Charles to go buy from. So you're on a bribing spree at that point.
All right. All right. So let's try this. Let's flash back. Because there are no consequences if my flashbacks fail.
Right. If your flashback fails, that means that you simulated the possibility and rejected it.
All right. So let's flash back to midday on day 18. I've just bribed the shopkeep that
Okay.
I sent Tice to, or Charles to. And I imagine, where would the necromancer be at this point?
He would be at an inn, getting ready to go and summon a bunch of zombies in the
All right.
middle of the night after the sun sets.
All right. So, go to the inn. How crowded? Probably like half, I'd imagine, at that
It's
hour.
actually it's like a little after midday, so the lunch crowd is kind of petering out, but there's still some population.
Right. So I'll like
This
walk
isn't the
in.
kind of guy who socializes, though. He's probably up
Yeah.
in his room.
Do I know what his room is?
You keep detailed files on everyone in the city,
Yeah. All right.
even people who are just visiting, apparently.
All right. So, I'll walk up just to barkeep and tell him that I have a message for the person in room 14.
Okay. We're going to want to make some kind of check to see if you're able to do this without any of his handlers noticing. So Slafan is there as his handler somewhere. You don't see him, but that's pretty typical. He is a stealth person. So what do you want to do for your technique of avoiding detection? Disguise, deception. They're under false pretenses. Pretending to work for Slafan for some reason.
I don't think I'm getting away with that one. My usual way of getting by these problems is creating massive scene. But I don't think that would work necessarily because I have to somehow get through this and like leave the scene. Um, have I at this point have I purchased the ships yet? I don't think I have.
Nope,
So
not yet.
I would not be able to go as the ship captain of one of the ships.
Though shortly after this, you start telling everyone you're a ship captain.
That is true.
And that was also before you bought the ships.
Can I just have started my ship captain early? Because
Totally. Maybe this
Yeah.
is the reason you were spreading rumors about being a ship captain.
yeah. All right. So I'm in full like captain's regalia, and instead of just saying I have a message for the person in room 14, I'm going to say like several rooms that I need to speak with urgently, so that when it goes up, it looks more like I've tried to recruit a crew rather than necessarily trying to talk to one person.
Okay.
So yeah, I assume that this is a role here.
Yes, this is not really a stealth roll. This is a performance roll.
Yep. Only 3 successes.
Okay, well, you certainly convinced the clerk. So you're told which room he's in and permitted to go up the stairs. You have no idea if you may or may not have convinced somebody who may or may not be hiding in the crowd.
Well, I'm going to keep up the charade because I've asked for several rooms. So I'm going to go to several rooms and try and recruit people to be on my ship. That doesn't
Okay.
exist at this point. Um, so yeah, I'm just going to knock on like the first door and just try like give them a really bad pitch about being recruited, but be seen going into that room and exiting. Into that room, exiting. But I'm deliberately giving bad pitches. Like I'm underselling the wages. You know, I'm saying, oh, our cargo is going to really stink, but it's good wage, right? Even though it's like terrible.
Okay.
And I'll just keep doing that until I get to the necromancer's room as just a way to try and make it look like consistent with what I said I was going to do.
All right. So a few doors later, the door opens and there is a necromancer there, expecting room service, not a boat captain. Yep.
I'm just going straight in like I own the place. And I would like to check if I can to see if there's any like magical listening devices in here.
Okay. Go ahead and make a check.
What would that be? From is that investigation and magic or something like that?
So it's just
Yeah.
your magic.
Is it just magic? Okay.
Unless you have something to sort of justify it. But this is also senses. So if you have keen magical sense, then you can apply the pips from that.
I mean, keen touch, not magical sense, unfortunately.
Okay, so it would be just your magic.
Yep, just my magic. And this would be rolled without any taxes I have at this moment, right? Because I would have had those taxes then, or
Huh. What an interesting question. The only way to properly have adjudicated that would be for me to remember what your taxes were back then. So I think we're just going to go with what you've got right now.
right? Cool.
I think it just
I've-
makes sense going forward that you do that based on they're initiating the tax for the flashback in this moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to try and it's too much to try and rewind.
It's too much
Yeah,
to track
it's
how many tax you have.
Too much to, yeah. Okay, so there is definitely magic in this room. You can't tell if it's specifically a listening device, but there's magic stuff kind of all over the place. Almost in the way that somebody might have scattered clothes around a hotel room if they, had been staying there for a couple days and weren't actually like ready to pack up and go yet.
I'm just going to ask the guy straight up, this room clean?
He sort of like squints up his face like he's trying to figure out what you mean by clean, being a necromancer, and says, "Clean enough. What are you here for?"
Well, business, as you most certainly could have guessed. But I've got to make sure that, there's no unsavory types listed, and you know how there can be with, rival crews and all that down here. There's a huge, like, rivalry between, all the different guilds down at the docks. I've heard that you're going to be sailing out soon, so try to just, make sure this is all the up and up.
You hear what sounds like a very bony rat scuttling in the walls a bit, and you see his hand twitching, like he's puppeteering the rat. But then he says, "Okay, room's clean. What do you have to say?"
So who are you shipping out with?
He says, "I think it's time for you to leave."
It's not.
He takes that as a threat, and with a pull of his finger, A skeletal rat kind of pops through the wall.
See, I know some things about you. You see, I know some things about your old group, and I'm interested in some things about you for my own projects. You see,
His eyes narrow. He's like, my old crew ain't worth shit. I've got a new
Well-
crew now, and I'm fine. Thank you.
well, I know that's why I've come to you rather than your old crew. You see, how you're getting paid decently well, I imagine, for this new business that you're shipping out with. Well, you got paid a little more. Yeah, like a full share.
You're offering me more than what? What do you think I'm making here?
I'm offering you a full share of what you're shipping.
Of what I'm shipping?
Yeah. You see, I am offering you, I'm sorry, I'm counting right now. Full share, split 6 ways of everything, rather than the mere pittance. I don't know what you're getting paid, to be honest, and frankly, I don't care. But I'm offering you way more than that.
Okay. At this point, he says something that is a secret, and you'll only find this out if you actually decide to keep this instead of reject it as a failure. But he does tell you what he's getting paid,
Right.
and that is what you learn at that point. And then you make your
Right.
offer. It seems like he's not actually aware of what he's shipping, is the impression that you get, and so your offer will need to be somewhat specific, and then you're going to be making some rolls.
All right.
Your impression with this guy is not that you need to make a roll to convince him to take the bigger offer. Your impression is that you need to convince him that your offer is real.
Your employers, they're shipping a lot, and I mean a lot of gold. And my voice is like getting progressively quieter as I'm doing this. And I'm offering you a full split of that because I already have access to the treasure. We can get there at any time that we want. And we will be in charge of that treasure when it ships out of here. It's just a matter of establishing our opportunity. And with your help, we could establish that opportunity. And I'm going to offer you a full entire share of that.
Okay. It's a pretty good offer. Go ahead and make your roll. Again, this is your sincerity that you're banking on here. So I will give you a lower difficulty number if you roll propriety instead of persuasion. But you are very, very persuasive. So we'll see.
Can I use my performance? Because I definitely know what I'm doing here.
Oh, you're going to use that. All right. You're going to give a performance as a sincere person.
Yeah.
Based on your years of theatrical training, you're going to behave the way a sincere and honest person would behave.
Exactly. maintaining eye contact. It's like shifting off eye contact just enough that it's not like oppressive eye contact. But shifting off at the right moments where I start like wafting on about the treasure and then coming back to eye contact rather than just staring him down. So would this be performance plus like? I mean, I've also lied to him, so this is probably cutting more than empathy.
Yeah, particularly if you're doing it with your performance talent instead of actual empathy. Yeah.
I mean, we fully intend to betray this guy, right? Like, there's no reason.
I mean,
Fuck
that
this
is my
guy.
intention is to fully betray this guy. My intention is to take this guy and stab him in the back at the end when he's outnumbered. When he comes to collect his share, he's not getting his share. So 3 successes.
Okay. You have convinced him that this is real, that your offer is genuine. And he kind of squints his eyes and is tempted. He's definitely a greedy person. But the thing that he was getting paid in is something that is not money. And so it is definitely now now a matter of tempting him that he can get what he really wants with money. This is a hard thing for me to express without giving away the secret of what he knows. But
well, it's obviously necromantic in nature.
It is, yeah.
Better not be my girlfriend.
Essentially, power. Some means to power is being traded to him, and he is now convinced that your offer is genuine. That there really is this vast quantity of wealth, and he knows that vast quantities of wealth can bring a lot of good things when you know how to put them in the right hands. Also, a lot of trouble if you don't. That could buy him quite a few graveyards full of ripe and rotting corpses.
Some skeletons do. Don't forget them.
Also, all the good, high quality explosives you could get.
So, do you know? I'm going to basically just explain the entire Adventure Kingdom economy to him based off of my recent travels. Explain that having this much money, being able to set up somewhere can give you way more than power that's granted to you on a contingent basis.
He could do a whole
That power
Elizabeth
could be
Bathory
removed.
thing if he wanted, like.
That's what I'm getting at. If you want, you could even get people to come live there and serve you forever.
Which actually happened at Bone Pillar.
Yeah.
There's an actual example of that happening. A mage settled at Bone Pillar, set up his tower, which is why it's called Bone Pillars. There's this tower that looks like a giant piece of bone, and entire city formed around it.
If Avatala knows about this,
yep.
I am citing it as an example.
It's
of
in the Middle Kingdoms. You guys actually came kind of close to it in your travels. So yeah,
fundamentally unlimited power or unlimited money can provide.
And he's very receptive to this. So yeah, make one more roll. This is a much easier target. We're basically counting these as cumulative rolls towards the real target.
This one's definite. I imagine persuasion.
Oh yeah, straight up.
I can't even argue a performance here.
You're just laying down the math.
Persuasion, empathy, I imagine, because I'm just trying to touch whatever drives this guy.
She starts struggling just to add pips from performance because isn't it all very compelling? Isn't she just dazzling you with her talent?
You need 2 more successes to reach the total of 5 on this guy.
Oh no!
he passes on your offer.
All right, then that failed. So we've tried convincing him.
Yeah. All right.
All
Now,
right.
here's your
Well,
choice.
it didn't happen.
You can choose that this didn't happen, or you can choose that it did happen and you learned the secret as to what he's actually getting paid. And then you stealthed out of there.
This is difficult. I'm going to choose it didn't happen.
Okay.
That's a difficult one, but I think that's the better option.
Better not be my girlfriend.
Your
She is a
girlfriend
rock.
is safely in your control now.
Is she with me, or is
Yeah.
she doing reconnaissance?
No, you guys
She's in our stone feeding bad information.
Yeah, she's pretending to be, because she's in your possession, right? She's in a little crystal that you guys have, and she has a way to communicate from that crystal to Edgar Parrington, and so she is just feeding him bad information whenever Remy says, like, okay, I want him to know this, or I want him to think we're doing this. Yeah.
Right.
Wait, that's an opportunity. We could have fed bad information and that we're actually traveling with a much more powerful necromancer than the one he has, and this isn't a safe option.
Do I beat this guy up, or like?
So the reason I went with mine was that there were no consequences if I failed. I think that's the best option now, is to beat him up.
Yeah, I think kick his ass.
The other thing too is that if you keep that as real instead of undoing it, then that will have still happened when Rourke goes to beat him up.
I mean, what did we actually promise him?
Basically, in the outfit that I am in right now at this moment, went to offer him a full share of everything.
Did you specify how that share is going to be divided? Like an equal share?
Yeah. She said it would be divided 6 ways, and he would be one of the 6. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. So we'll just divide it by weight. He can have a lot of iron in a door at the bottom of the ocean. Like, I have no real massive issue with that. You have to be very specific when you're signing contracts with him.
I also lied about the number we had there.
Yes, which was a smart thing to do, because that redirects away from things like maybe Barnabas is hidden somewhere. You never know.
But I think I can't, undo this decision to contingent on whether Rourke successfully beats him up or not.
No.
It's a decision you have to make. Yeah, in the moment.
I think it's safer just to say that did happen.
Okay.
Because that means we don't have somebody who knows that someone's trying to get this guy to defect, right, which is good.
And I went, when I went for that in my full outfit. Like, I am literally wearing a very similar outfit. I would be recognizable.
Yeah. It would be like, intelligence-wise, not a good look. Like, they would know some shit was just going down.
If it added to my credibility there, but also I rolled 0 of 6, so.
All right, so tell me what I gotta do. This guy's what is this guy? This guy got like an office job. Like, what's his situation? What's he doing? How does he operate? What's his schedule? Is he going to have lunch? Does he go to the whorehouse? I want to know.
He hangs out in his inn until nightfall, and then comes out and messes with corpses in graveyards.
Sound like a real pervert.
Your
Tight.
intel on him from the Evatal's files and from talking to Charles is that his thing is he likes to stuff explosives into zombies and then use them as walking bombs.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so better plan. I hope to try and intercept him before he leaves and just light his house up. It will be a terrible accident.
All right, so you're gonna wait for him outside the inn and get him before he even gets to the graveyard.
Oh wait, so he's just carrying explosives on his person?
Yes.
What a fucking psychopath.
I mean, I'm carrying
I mean, that's
explosives
fair
on
enough,
my
fair enough,
person.
fair enough, fair enough. But he's carrying a lot.
Significant amount, yeah.
Like a lot, because he's stuffing them in corpses. Okay.
In fact, the part of the conversation the ghost overheard at the end was them telling him how insane he is. It's like, you're crazy. What are you doing with that?
How
'Cause
much
the-
information would it be reasonable to know about these explosives? What is their ignition component?
Here's the best part. The explosives were never even part of the plan. It's just something he's doing because he feels like he should be doing it.
It's just something that he's taken upon himself.
Taken
to do.
upon himself. He was told to go raise the zombies and send them into the water so they'd have a team of zombies to start carrying the treasure around once they dropped it off the boats. And he decided he was going to load them full of explosives. And then Charles later blew up some of them, and so they made him take the explosives out.
Fucking necromancers.
This dude is nuts.
I made such a good team, don't I?
All right. Okay. So again, my question is, how much do we know about the explosives? What triggers them to explode?
So they are an improvised kind of organic explosive, fertilizer, that kind of thing. And what triggers them to explode is they're implanted in the zombie's chests, and he has basically a chemical that with necromancy he can make a bone squeeze and pop a bag, and that chemical pours onto the fertilizer, and a reaction triggers and makes it explode.
Okay.
That way he can trigger it with necromancy instead of like a detonator switch.
Who's got very good range? It can puncture this sack.
Yeah.
Because it's not me.
Who's got good ranged?
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait, what's
slashing at him with a bladed weapon might have hilarious and disastrous results.
That's my point. Like I can't actually fight him in the manner that I think will most promise his destruction, because he's strapped with fucking explosives. And I'm very strong, but I'm not explosion proof.
This isn't the first time. This would be the first time that Avatar would have had to have been flooded with necromantic magic if she was to be the one dealing this trigger.
It might take some combo flashbacks.
Okay,
but
yeah, we're gonna need Charles.
There is somebody in the past in that area, several somebodies that have something that's explosion proof, and that's the shields that the Crimson Guard trainees are carrying. Those things can project a magic field that will protect you from outside hazards.
I was gonna send Charles with you also.
I figure with Charles, like, it's easy enough to do.
Basically just snipe some necromantic energy at him.
Honestly, can we just tail him? Wait for him to be installing this shit. So he'll be right on top of it.
So he just has a bag of explosives?
Yes. I mean, am I correct? I'm assuming that based on the description of this character that he is legitimately carrying an amount of explosives to outfit several zombies with explosives.
So he can remote trigger the explosive with his necromantic powers?
Yes.
Oh, never mind. I don't want to pickpocket that shit then.
Yes, what I'm saying.
I don't want to.
I love him. He's amazing.
And now you get to kill him. Honestly, I mean, I'm very strong, like I said, but I'm really not the right tool for this task, I feel. I can protect Tice if, like, well, but they are strapped with explosives, guys. I cannot stress enough that this is not something I can easily handle. Unless I have a super sick shield, in which case, even then.
You've seen Tice emulate the way this guy sets things up, too, and he had a crowd of zombies just disintegrate a whole lot of shit.
Yeah, so that's like, it's just simply not a task with which brute force is the appropriate response.
Dasco, can you get us one of those shields?
What shields?
The Crimson
Guard
Guard, the shields that Althorn was testing the prototype for that are now in use by the trainees.
I mean, probably. Is there a problem with them blowing up?
I don't want to be in an explosion, is my problem.
More importantly, if he completely dies, then they have to come up with a new plan.
Yes.
To get the treasure off. If he can survive but be flipped, then their plan will continue and we'll be in control of it.
Yeah, if he dies, they're just going to find another necromancer.
Yes, true.
Okay, so he's got to partially blow up. Yeah, I mean, I guess I can get a shield. I don't know how they work. I'm not sure I'm going to get the right one, but I'll go ahead and get you a shield, I suppose.
It's a Crimson Guard shield. They're super sick. I studied them at length while I was watching them train with them, so hopefully... Oh yeah, also, the fuel I need as well. I cannot just have a shield.
All right, what I got to roll?
Yes, these shields are... they are not normal equipment. They are...
specialized, to say.
Yeah. Daedic items.
Which would be sick with my shield proficiency, not gonna lie. I was mad jelly. I was like, oh well, that's a foregone conclusion, and that's okay maybe in another lifetime. But maybe I get my chance in this flashback.
Okay, so my criminal grocer, I'll tax that, I guess, to get this thing.
Okay.
And then do I need to roll something for... Is it like a trade roll? Are these things for sale?
They're not for sale. They're manufactured by the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild. So this could be theft or or something else. But they're manufactured by the Applied Thaumaturgy Guild for the Crimson Guard. It's an exclusive piece, law-keeping piece of equipment that they make.
It's like I asked you for like a fucking LRAD. Like it's not just something you can go to the Walmart to get. Like it's a military application.
Yeah. And there's not like an unlimited supply of them. They've made a certain number. Those number are currently being used by trainees at the academy to train up a new group of Crimson Guard who are proficient in using this new technology.
Which I have no proficiency in, but I just am good at shields, so hopefully...
The old guard do not have this. They weren't trained in it. A lot of them don't trust it or like it. Because it's weird, it's magic-y. But Althorn's test run of it was very successful on his missions. So it's now part of training for a new generation of Crimson Guard defenders of the realm.
Yeah, it's not a small ask, unfortunately.
I don't remember when you got this, but in theory, could you leave your pay to the order of the Thieves Guild like flyer or whatever it is?
Oh no!
He got that on your way to the boat.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I could just basically... So I'm just going to tap one of my Thieves Guild connections and say, I need one of these shields.
Okay.
I can roll a resources check. Or whatever you want me to roll. I mean, I can roll crime if you want me to, or trade, or resources.
Yeah, I was gonna just go look at your character sheet and see what the power I give you does. So I think oh yeah, here we go. Flashback powers. Grocer. Text when to trigger a flashback shopping montage in which the grocer requires any number of basic normal items or a single-use data item of quality 2. Additional tax may be applied to increase the quality of the data item by 2 per tax. If the narration of the flashback includes paying with wealth or items traded or resources or connections taxed, then the item is no longer required to be single-use, but must still conform to the limits of what a data item of that quality can be. So in this case, yeah, you would just have to tax your connections by 1, and then let's see.
What is the quality of the shield?
Great question. Let's go look at Althorn's character sheet. It is quality 6. So the 3 tax on your legendary grocer superpower, and also a tax on your connections to acquire it.
All right, well, I only have 2 on my legendary superpower, so it leaves me 2 short. But I'm willing to make up the difference in a resources discussion.
Okay. So you're willing to give up some of your liquid finance capability there?
Well, yeah, I'm willing to use master barter is basically what I'm willing to do.
Okay.
So I can make a roll, and we can interpret that.
Yeah. Go ahead. How many tax are you capable of putting into the flashback?
2. So I'll put 2.
Okay. So that's 2 short on the quality. So if you get 2 successes here, we should be good. Bam! Blows it out of the park.
Woo!
So that should get us the shield and a couple of spare batteries.
All right, Verk, so you got the shield and 1, 2, 3 ATG charge spheres to activate the shield with.
Cool. Let's hope I can use this without ever having used it before.
From what you've seen of the kids practicing it, it's got at least one mode that projects a blast of force out of the front of the shield, and another mode that encompasses the user in a protective barrier. There's also 2 other modes.
Okay, quick question. Can it be used as a standard shield?
Yes.
Just generally.
It is it's completely standard shield in every way, and what it has is on the inside there's a slot you can put a marble into, and a little key you can turn, and a dial to select the mode.
Should I preload it?
Yeah. So you can
Okay.
preload it with a marble. It won't activate till you turn the key, and when it activates, it'll activate based on what mode the dial is in. So its 4 settings are Door Knocker, which creates the forward cone of projected force. Shield, which creates a force field around that allies can stand in, which absorbs projectiles and low-level magic attacks, such as explosives. Absorb, which makes the shield attract high-level magic attacks to it, changing it to their target and dissipating their energy. And Safe Zone, which creates a bubble of breathable air around the user and their allies, pushing away gases and liquids that would inhibit breathing.
Excellent. Okay.
And I'm going to tax my criminal to send Charles back with Rorik as well.
Okay. You have some backup in this scene then.
Awesome. So generally my plan is to try and isolate him as best as I can. Stealth would be great if we can try that first. I want the element of surprise if I can have it. My plan is essentially to get him alone. If there's a rush of zombies approaching, door knock him away, and then bubble him. Have Charles detonate the zombies that are nearby if there are any. And now we've got him by himself.
Sounds like a plan. He comes out of the inn. This is Celebre, so it's quite a busy city even at night, but his specific intention is to slip away and not be seen. He wants to work in privacy. He doesn't want guards questioning him as to why he's raising zombies in the middle of the night. So he's definitely making attempts to duck you. Following him will be a little bit of a challenge. This could be either investigation or stealth, but definitely it's perception. There is a talent specifically for if you have stealth, you can... oh, you don't have stealth at all, do you?
Not really, but I have some spare points I could spend in the moment, so...
Probably investigation is the better one, then.
I mean, they're the same. My stealth and investigation are the same.
I see. Charles, you may want to help out.
In stealth?
Or investigation.
This is a flashback scene back in time when you guys were still in the city. Your necromancer friend is trying to sneak out of an inn and get lost in alleyways on his way to a graveyard. You guys are going to try and intercept him.
All right. Let's see. Did you want me attempt to? Did you want me attempt to make us invisible, or?
If you have the ability to make us more sneaky in any way, so things like making us more quiet, making it so he can't detect our heartbeat, making it so we aren't easy to see, stuff like that. If that's in your power, I'll take it.
Interesting side note. Necromancers actually have trouble detecting heartbeats because heartbeats are alive. But when your heart stops beating, then it becomes easy for them to detect.
I see.
Yeah, I could always was it frick think yeah, making us more quiet, I think, might be a little bit harder on my end because see here, I could think of a way of shrouding us in a sort of like an undeath or something, but then that might just make it
That
more
would make us
detectable.
glow like a beacon, though, in terms of like him. He will detect us because he will sense necromantic energy emanating off of our persons.
And time travel. I'm there too. I have shadow ability.
Sick.
Okay. There we go.
Cool. Yay. Okay. Cool. All right. I think we can do this.
This is why you bring a diverse team.
Like I said, I'm really not the answer to this problem. I'm just a part of it. It's just not something I literally can't solve this problem by myself. I'm just very strong. That's like literally all I got going for me.
I mean, remember how many dice it took us to get, and how many hoops we had to jump through just so you could smuggle a door?
Yeah.
Smuggle a door that you were supposed to be carrying anyways.
I mean, it all worked out. It's good to use your help or die, all right? You don't have to do it alone. It's a collaborative game.
Chris, is Shadow a talent?
It is a talent.
Awesome.
I get to tax 1 stealth, and I can follow anyone unknown.
Okay.
As long as I can follow them.
That solves that problem without any die rolls necessary. So you guys successfully shadow him until he basically has lost everyone other than you guys who might be following him. It's a twisted path through alleyways, and then comes up from an unusual angle into the graveyard that is deserted. It's the sun is well set, and we're starting to get towards midnight. And he is beginning to unpack at the edge of the graveyard. to go forth. He's got his shovel, and he's got bags and bags of what you presume are the explosives he plans to load in.
I have one quick question. Does this graveyard have like gargoyles and statues and shit?
Yes.
God, I hope Barnabas is one of those. That would be so good. I'm just saying.
Oh man,
Flashback
that's
as a
fantastic.
gargoyle.
He can be anyone in any scene, okay?
It's true. Don't even need Chris's power for that one. Barnabas can just...
He was just hanging out practicing his skills by being a gargoyle that day.
You just see the eyes start moving.
I personally would shit myself. Rora would not, but I would.
Okay.
So this is the plan? That's our plan.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's got his back to you, and he's tapping his hand on the ground. Tice, you can sense the waves of his necromantic energy going into the soil as he looks for his targets. There's about 60 potential zombies that he looks like he's getting ready to wake up.
Oh god, that's a lot.
Now is the time
Yep,
before
now's
there's
the time.
60 guys also the fight.
How many charges did I have? 3?
Yes. What mode are you setting it to?
Door knock.
Okay.
I assume it takes an action for me to change it.
It's a little dial, so it's not that hard to change it. It's not
Gotcha.
like... yeah, it's a pretty quick thing. When you're practiced with it and know what you're doing, it's basically effortless.
What does the attract magic one do?
So the idea is for more powerful spells that would or for spells that have weird effects, it basically turns you into the target. So if you have allies that maybe would suffer badly from that, and you can't just protect them with the shield, then you switch to that mode, and you become the target of those spells. And it has some ability to dissipate them, although they can overcome the quality 6 if they're powerful enough.
So the shield could absorb the necromantic waves right now, and instead of raising 60 zombies, it would try to raise an inanimate shield.
Yeah, it would make Rurik the target of that. If the shield can withstand it, it will dissipate the energies, although this guy is powerful enough to simultaneously raise 60 zombies.
I'm cool on that.
Alright. Tice, you're that powerful, right?
I'm decently powerful.
That wasn't the answer I wanted.
Charles's
mind-numbing-
specializations are a little different.
He wants mind-numbing, face-melting power. In this case. Okay. How close are we to him?
How close do you want to be before you make him notice you? Chris used shadow, so you guys can be where you want.
I mean, if we can get right up to him and just put him inside a bubble with us,
You can do that.
then that might be the safest thing to try.
You hit the bubble while he's holding the explosives?
Maybe door knock then bubble, because right now I have it in door knock. Yeah, let's just knock him on his ass, get on top of him, and
Alright.
start with that.
When you pull the key, you can see why the students spend some time training. The shield is generating enough force that it's also pushing against you. And so it takes you a second to brace your legs and push back. And a wave of force just hits him from behind, flipping him forward and scattering the explosives across the graveyard.
Awesome. I assume that's my action. Or I charge him if that's not my action.
Your action was not falling
Bracing.
over.
Yeah, bracing, not eating shit. Cool.
All right. He's on his ass, so he's not going to be doing anything this turn. Charles, did you want to do anything? And also
Uh,
Remy, you have an action spell. Charles?
Yeah, I'm thinking. I can just like knock him out.
That would be great. That would be very much in line with the plan, I think. Because then we can interrogate him, take him away from where he has, 60 dead bodies he can use at a given time to fight us.
Yeah, I guess I'll just like since we're close to him. I guess like if we're like right beside him, right? I can just
We are
walk
we
up.
are not currently beside him because I knocked him ankles over forehead away from us with my shield.
Yeah, he's like, knocked, went flying, flipping through the air, and he just crashed up against what are those stone things that have like it's like a tiny little
Mausoleum?
shed, basically. Yeah, mausoleum, on which is a statue that is blinking. I think. Did you decide to do that?
That's up to Barnabas.
Barnabas, did you want to tax your power there and be in the scene, or what?
Would that be taxing the flashback or?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Sure. So did they land on me?
Landed up against the Mausoleum that you're balanced upon in your living statue disguise. Basically, you're right next to them, whereas everybody else has to kind of run across to get there.
Yeah. Are we trying to detain them?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then I will jump into action and. Do they have explosives on them still?
No, the explosives were scattered around the graveyard, but there are explosives all over the place.
Okay.
No one wants to fucking blow up. I love it. Good choices, everyone. Safety first.
Well, I'm just gonna straight up, like flying squirrel style, just like spread my arms and legs open and just try and like land on top of this guy. I'm like above.
Oh God, this is the best.
Like the
Alright.
fucking Batman.
I mean, an unarmed attack. That sounds good. Yeah. Do it.
Melee is what I'm all about, you know? Gotta get in close. Yeah, so basically just flying squirrel down on top of him and just start punching him, I guess.
Just wailing on his noggin, trying to
Just
knock him
wailing.
out. Trying to KO.
Sounds like a vigor plus unarmed to me.
Oh yeah, I guess melee would be if I actually had
Fighting skills.
A weapon would be melee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose I will have a weapon because I'm not very good at this whole unarmed thing. I have my battle axe, so that's in one of my hands.
Did you intend the attack to be non-lethal?
Yeah, I'm not. I suppose like this person might have information that could be useful to us, so I'm not gonna try and murder them.
We're trying to turn him to our side by force.
Next.
Yeah. Well, actually, here's my plan. I have my battle axe, and what I'd like to do. I don't know what this roll will look like, but I'm gonna flying scroll style land on top of them, battle axe up to the neck. You know, kind of like, hey, you make one move and you're dead. But
Okay.
to try and detain them, kind of.
All right. That is straight up intimidation. That's excellent. So I would say that is probably a vigor plus persuasion.
All right.
Da-na-na-na-na.
And do I get to use my pips for the axe? Even though I'm not using the axe?
It
Yeah,
is part of your
because
intimidation.
yeah, the quality of the axe is part of the show that's intimidating. Is that you're not intimidating him by saying, "I will cut you with an axe that I'm hiding behind my back. You can't see, but I swear it's there. She's from Canada. You don't know her. We go to different schools."
Oh man.
I'm not very good at this, guys. I just know how to look cool.
Okay. Remy, do you want to do anything? Run across and take an action or any kind of ranged thing?
Yeah. What's Charles doing again? Did he say it?
Charles is there. Charles can also take an action. He hasn't decided yet.
Okay.
I could what he's doing, I could attempt to just like basically rip out any necromantic energy that he like tries to bring, basically.
Oh,
him
okay.
loose.
A kind of preemptive counterspell.
Yeah, so like if he tries to do anything, he'll just suck it up out of the air.
That's a good call. All right.
All right. The bag of explosives. You said it has a trigger in it.
It's like an enzyme or some shit.
Oh, it's like all just a bunch of liquid.
Yeah. So there's a fertilizer. It's almost like soil, really, but it's plant based, and then there's a liquid. And if the liquid is punctured and spills onto the plant based like compound, then it detonates.
All right. I want to go run to the bag and try to remove the bag of liquid.
You're gonna do what to the bag?
I
Sorry.
want to remove the container of liquid from
Oh,
the bag
okay.
of explosives. Just gonna try to remove this threat.
He's trying to disable the catalyst.
Yeah.
All right. So you're gonna disarm one of the explosives.
Well, it's not just one big bag. It's a
They're
whole
like,
bunch of.
imagine they're like sets.
Oh god.
Yeah.
There's multiple sets.
He had made 60 of them for the zombies in this graveyard.
Son of a bitch.
And
This would be a
Never mind. I'm not running over there. Then.
and Rurik has scattered those 60 all over the graveyard in random blast pattern. If one of them detonates, they will probably chain reaction detonate the rest of them. At least they're not on top of each other now.
Mutually assured destruction.
All right. Well, I'll throw a dagger at him, I guess.
To detonate it?
No, at him.
Oh, at him. Okay.
To hurt him. Yeah, I want
to. Are you doing this to damage him or to intimidate him?
Oh, damage him. I'll intimidate after we do some damage.
Okay. You got to fight the Pokemon a little bit first, get its hit points down, then you throw the ball.
If we accidentally kill him, we could just resurrect him and say, okay, you're back. You're gonna pretend you're gonna do what you're doing. Charles is gonna take over, and now you're with us. Because you're dead now. That could be you could do this alive or dead. How do you prefer?
This is agility and throwing, right?
Yep. All right, you nick him.
Now he knows we need business.
Ow!
All right, and his immediate response is to try to just gather up some death energy into a blast to try and knock Barnabas off, and that fails because Charles is already in position, screwing with the necromantic energies in the aether. So no like chill touch or yeah, none of that. He's well and truly pinned.
I turn the key to the shield, or the bubble.
Okay.
And my next action is just to get inside of his space and say like, okay, let's talk.
Alrighty. So you and everybody is now safely inside the bubble. So if the explosives were to detonate, for some reason, you guys are protected. And so is he.
He's only protected from the explosives.
That's correct.
He's in here with us. And I assume with Charles, any undead that are directly beneath us, which I presume is a possibility because we're inside of a fucking graveyard, will be a non-issue.
It will not be an issue.
Excellent. I guess now we get to talking.
Yep. He's no longer in a position to do anything offensive. There's a dwarf sitting on him with a battle axe up to his throat. A knife has embedded itself in the ground, having cut open part of his thigh, and and all of his necromantic energy is being scrambled by his former colleague. Also, there's a huge warrior with a shield there.
Mm-hmm. I think I should let Barnabas do the talking. Because I'm not good at it. or Remy. Remy would probably be...
Remy is not good at talking. Remy's not good at talking.
Oh no.
I'm pretty good at it. What's our goal here?
To get him to basically... We want to turn this guy on our side.
He needs to be a double agent for us.
Yeah, so he can continue on with his little, I do a little conga line with my zombies and the treasure bit. He can continue on as planned, but we are going to get him to either deliver them somewhere else or something, and then we're just going to dispose of him when we're done with this.
Oh, great. That sounds like an easy sell.
Obviously, he's not going to know.
I know. I'm trying to think about how I'll go about this, but yeah, ultimately I'm just going to try and persuade them.
Alternatively, so you can either persuade him to work with you, or you can just persuade him to claim that he's in control of the zombies when in fact Charles is. One of those two would work in this situation.
I'm just wondering, why would he want to do that? So I'm trying to figure out, how to... I think that we would basically need to promise to split the treasure with him, right? I think that's the only thing we can do.
Charles, can you do something to dampen his necromantic powers?
I think that's kind of like what he's currently doing.
No. But I don't know. Trap him in some sort of, I don't know, he's got shit trapped in things. In a watch or whatever, right? Trap it, and then we could hold that ransom pretty much.
Straight up just steal his soul and be like, you want to go back into your body? You help us? That kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. That's what I was trying to figure out.
If you guys kill him, Charles can trap his soul. He can also burn the soul as fuel to power his watch.
The issue is that if we kill him, surely somebody will notice because he's integral to the plan.
Unless Barnabas becomes
Unless Barnabas becomes him, and that would be amazing. I was really hoping you would suggest that, because that's what I would hope for.
This will be pretty rough on Barnabas, as Barnabas is currently in the morning disguised as a diplomat from Corlanth.
I'll literally be doing a Mrs. Doubtfire style thing. Where
I'm thinking Weekend at Bernie's. Why can't we just reanimate his corpse and then use Charles to act through this corpse? Is that not something we can do reasonably?
It'll be a hard role for Charles, but it's not outside of what magic is capable of.
Weekend at Bernie's, let's go!
My only other issues is if the other necromancer is on the boat, I think he might notice that the other necromancer is currently being just walking around like a puppet.
The proprietor of the casino, yeah. He does not appear to be as powerful a necromancer as you guys, but he is a very shrewd businessman. with a keen eye for detail.
Yeah, he would know something's up, basically.
Would they know each other?
Yeah.
Yes, they all came from the same town.
Ew. Yeah, that would have to be quite the disguise for Barnabas.
Mm-hmm. So there's no chance that we can basically.
I think the best option is just have him claim the zombies are his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say like this. Like this is our interview. We'd like to be business partners. Say.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Cool. Well,
I can't.
and then of course the gist here is he's going to get an even cut of the treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just promise him whatever they're paying him, plus some
Double.
of the treasure or something? No,
We'll just double it.
double. Well, I guess so. Well, let's find out what he's being paid first.
Yeah, I guess so.
Right, because canonically we do not know what he
That's
wants.
true.
Right. Now this is a flashback that we doesn't have an undo switch. So you guys get to know. He has been promised a meeting with an Apthian bone priest to learn Apthian bone magic.
God damn it. Now I'm definitely going to kill this guy when we're done with him.
Well, I mean, I happen to know an Apthian bone priest from my previous life, so if you would like me to make introductions, I'm sure I can arrange
Amazing,
something.
perfect. Mwah, chef's kiss. The whole gang's here.
So
All right.
And
what you learn from him about what he's been promised is that Slafan has promised that at sea, Edgar and crew are going to meet up with an Apthian bone priest who's come from Corlanth on another ship, and that the bone priest is going to teach him some new bone magics. Magics that are not ethereal, but are demonic in nature. He's very excited about that.
he likes explosives too, right? We have that, what is it? Well, we don't really have, well, he doesn't know that. Bennington, what is it? What, the explosive shit, right?
Bennington's like a special alloy.
Don't we have that really bad explosive stuff that they were going to give to or whatever?
So the explosives that the mining cooperative is carrying are more of like blasting powder. It's not the you're talking about that stuff that was like super hot fire that burned so hot you couldn't see it.
Is that what they had hidden that was a war crime to carry into Celebre?
Oh no, that was Bennington.
Yeah.
The Bennington is an alloy that's used to make cannon barrels.
Oh, that was explosive. Never mind.
It couples with explosives and with cannonballs to create weapons of war that are a tier above what this civilization generally has available. That's why there is such a big deal that anyone would have them. Is like rifles and cannons are normally not a thing, but there are certain groups that have them, and the key to having them is Bennington.
It sounds like we just need to figure out what it's going to take.
We'll let him meet with the Apthian bone guy. He's only meeting for like a day or something. You said that right on the boat.
Yes.
We know one that he can just go with for longer. Plus, we're about to have a shit ton of explosives that I don't give a fuck about.
How? Can we... Like, I'm not here, but is there a reason he can't have his meeting with the Apthian bone priest? Like, if he's going to just claim that zombies are the zombies
What we're trying to
his
do is entice him to join our side by offering him something that he wants.
we can offer him to keep that meeting, but also get infinite gold to found the entire kingdom.
No, just give him the explosive. He loves
We're
explosives.
not giving him anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like why don't we just find out what he wants? Like, we could just literally just start making a deal with him right now.
Like, you can promise him whatever you want to promise him, because we're not giving it to him.
I find it's easiest to start a business relationship by asking your partner what it is that they want. And whatever that is, no matter how ridiculous, you just go ahead and promise that right off the bat, and then just get right down to business.
Exactly.
Solid.
We don't need to worry about giving him anything.
Yeah.
That's the pitch.
And right now I have an axe up against his throat, so I think my plan is I want to kind of just like play it off like, hey, we're not trying to hurt you here. We just want to talk. Don't struggle. We want to make a deal.
What kind of a deal?
We've got a lot of people around here, so we know what's going on. We know why you're here. We've heard what's going on here, and we'd like to intercept the treasure that you're planning on taking out of those ships.
He seems a bit surprised. Like, there's treasure in the ships.
Oh, great. Now I've told him more than he knew. Yes, there's a lot of treasure, and really things of all sorts of varieties. So it's quite the payday, and we'd be willing to cut you in on it if you're willing to let us take over and take control of the zombies that you're about to raise.
The key objection that he has, because he is a very greedy person and would like to take your offer, but the key objection he has is that if his current employer finds out that he's betraying them in any way, that they will probably just kill him before he gets a chance to talk to this bone priest. And he really, really wants to talk to the bone priest because he believes he will become some kind of like godlike super being once he has access to both magics.
Well, you're in luck because I am a master of disguise. I mean, you couldn't even tell that I was a gargoyle up there, right?
You still have your gargoyle paint on too. Yeah.
We can keep you safe.
So it's not just about being safe. Like, I need to have that meeting.
The meeting will happen. We'll make sure of it.
All right, go ahead and make your persuasion roll, and let's see. You've promised him everything, so that's worth a pip at least.
I mean, really, it's very easy. He just gets to do kind of what he's doing, except shift the responsibility of zombie control. Even less work for him to do, really. He could just focus on learning this new magic.
So the promises of the treasure is like worth a pip?
The promise that you're still going to let him have his meeting is worth a pip. Yeah.
Ah, okay.
The treasure, that's just basic greed. He would like to have more than he currently has.
Is it possible that like there might be more pips if it's like, oh, we're going to give you a disguise. Rorik can help, serve as a guard.
So a disguise doesn't actually help him because he needs to be himself. So that doesn't really do anything. Rurik being his guard might be helpful, as Rurik actually is at that point in time working for them. And in current, actually, yeah. All through all this time, that they believe that Rurik is on their team.
All right. Well, I'll just go with one pip then. It sounds like that'll cover that.
Bam! There you go. All right, greed wins, and he's agreed. He'll hand over control of the zombies to Tice. This is going to be a sort of continuous thing Tice will have to maintain if you guys are going to redirect the zombies to go somewhere else. So now, I need to know, Tice, from you, back in the present, all this time you've been secretly having the zombies take the treasure being dropped off the ship and carry it underwater to where? And if you want to, just privately send me the message instead of publicly say it, because nobody has any way of possibly checking up on you.
That's not true.
Avatala does have that fish.
Avatala's got a fish. And I almost got away with it, too.
And I've got a backpack full of satchel charges, so it's not really keeping track of stuff. But
We may have some idea where you got them now, too.
I just found these lying around in the graveyard.
Y'all, I don't think that
Can
could
we-
have gone any better.
Well, before we end the flashback, can we ask him where he's supposed to be delivering the treasure to? Like, where this zombie's supposed to be taking stuff to?
All right, Tice, that sounds good. Yes, the zombies are supposed to be taking the treasure to an old underground research facility that was created by the Watchers back before the Elven continent sunk. It's a 10,000-year-old Elven research base that was blown up pretty severely, but parts of it are still parts of it still have breathable air, basically. So there's segments of the research facility that were not completely destroyed when the mining cooperative decided to scuttle the base. And they're supposed to be bringing the stuff there where Edgar has some kind of lab. And yeah, something's going to happen there. It's supposed to be important, but he's not in on all the details. This base is just outside Half-Elven. It seems like they may have never been intending to go to Corlanth at all. Or if they are, they're going by a very, very different route than expected.
So what we do need are some boxes to make it to that place. Empty boxes. I don't care if they're empty. I don't know. Someone's. I don't know. Eventually, they're gonna realize that nothing showed up.
I don't like that smile.
Oh, sorry. Playing with my cat.
No, he's planning your doom.
We're together imagining all the wonderful ways that a giant cat paw is just going to come out of the sky for no reason. All right, so you are going to send some of them there. You said empty boxes?
Or where's the list of treasures? Or treasure we don't give a crap about that we can just
A
have
nice
something.
property of the explosives that this guy uses in his zombies is that they are not impacted by being wet. They still detonate just fine.
Oh my god, can we send the explosives there and then they're necromantic, so Charles can just blow them up in Edgar's secret research laboratory?
Yes.
Delicious. This
Lovely.
is a delicious plan.
Yeah, I'll send them a lifetime supply of explosives.
Enough for one
I sure
lifetime.
needed that.
All right. Well, that takes care of the treasure and getting some explosives delivered to that lab. The only issues outstanding then is that a TIA agent plans to scuttle this ship with explosives they brought themselves, and also at some point you guys are apparently meeting another ship coming the other way with, from what you've heard, a Apthian bone priest.
Do we not want the ships to explode?
We do not want the ships to explode.
Evatala does not
Is that
want the
just
ships.
Evatala?
Evatala does not want the ships to
Not,
explode.
not while I'm on it.
Same. I have the same thought. I don't personally care if the ships explode or not,
I
but
personally
I
would
simply
like
don't.
to keep the ships.
You will have so much money. A
But I've
fleet
got
of
a-
ships. So many
But
more
I've
ships.
got a loyal crew already.
You can use the money to find the pieces and rebuild the ships, and then I know a guy that can bring the crew back.
Yeah, his name's Theseus.
Or
I
Charles.
just say, but I mean, I've never done a mutiny before. I was kind of looking forward to a mutiny.
Yeah. Avatar goes, yeah, mutiny. And then remembers that she's the
She's the
captain of one
captain,
of them. Mutiny on 2.
Your desire to be criminal so bad you go against yourself.
I'm mutiny myself. I don't want to be the leader anymore.
Anarchist ship.
Well, just a thought though. Like, wouldn't the ships exploding be like the perfect cover for us having just stolen everything?
Yes,
So like,
it is, in fact, that.
it seems like in our best interest that the ships explode.
But the ships. Mutiny.
It-
I've blown up many things in my life. I have not mutinied before.
It's probably the only party here that is not interested in the ships exploding is the crew itself.
Yeah.
Everyone else has benefited by the ships just disappearing because then no one knows where the treasure is. They think it's sunk to the bottom of the ocean. And sailors will spend lifetimes looking for a treasure that's not there. But the crew, of course, they would like to, still be alive. So that's
What did the TIA offer you, Barnabas, for blowing up the ships?
money and a pardon, basically.
Oh, I mean, there's a little extra money there. We get the ships blown up too. We get the cover plus some money.
But what if we leverage the fact that the crew doesn't want the ships to blow up as part of our mutiny because it's actually the secret plan of the two ringleaders of this to blow up the ships and cover making off with all the treasure? And then we have 3 ships and a loyal pirate crew and have Takas to be a pirate captain.
The TIA, hold up, doesn't care if the people, it's a crew, blows up all the ships. They just care about the ships blowing up.
Correct. They want so the TIA is not aware there's like 1,000 sneaky things going on. They want the real actual treasure to really actually sink to the bottom of the ocean, so that it doesn't fall into the hands of the Corlanth economy, where it might be used to fund Apthus in a war.
We just need to convince the TIA that blowing up the ships is counter to their idea.
For example, if they knew that the treasure was no longer on the ship, they wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, but so what we need to do is we need to convince the TIA that blowing up the ships is bad. It's not going to get them. So that their goal of the treasure not reaching Corloth is already going to be achieved. They also need to allow us the explosives as part of that plan, but not to explode them. Basically, we have it under control here. Everything will be fine.
Won't people be wondering who took the treasure? Like if the treasure doesn't explode, then
We need a cover story.
then who do we like? Who's the fall person here?
Exactly.
Who do we pin this on?
Do you want
Evatala
to be
is
a
the owner of the ships.
Do you want to be a pirate or a queen?
Why not both?
Why don't we just tell them that is technically the truth, that we've been secretly been dumping the treasure off the side of the boats every night, slowly leaving a trail of treasure.
They would like that. That's basically what they wanted, is the treasure on the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, but I think the thing is, so that solves the TIA problem. But like, what I'm wondering is, in the world where we don't blow up these ships, what is our cover? How do we get away with this without people knowing that, looking for us? And I mean, this, by the way, as the person who's been in disguise this entire campaign, I'm not that concerned.
No,
There's a
Evatala owns the ships and has not hidden that fact at all. Like, that's everyone's cover but Evatala's.
I was curious. Does Avatala have insurance on these ships
So-
for explosion insurance?
So, I do have scapegoat, which means that we could start blaming the fishing guild, the fisherman's guild, this whole time. Is that this is an organized coup by the fisherman's guild to take all, to have the ship's mutiny and take all the.
Oh, you know what's actually a good idea? If we could come up with a way where like literally everyone's just pointing fingers at everyone else, you know? Like
That's exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we were doing. We have
I-
all the guilds pointing their fingers at each other.
Dasco did that, yes.
Yeah, then at the
yes.
end of this it's like well, you know, even if anyone's pointing their finger at us, there's going to be a bunch of other people pointing their finger at other people.
Yeah. The fact that the Thieves Guild went very quiet about their previously quite vocal objections to this treasure shipping out, and then suddenly we're like, yeah, actually, we're fine with it now. That's suspicious. The Fisherman's Guild, with the last minute, cut a deal, is suspicious. Avatala doesn't particularly, I think, grasp the severity of what happens if she gets found out as the ringleader of all this, because that's just notoriety and that's cool.
Well, we got time to blow up the ships or not.
I'd
Avatala
say
is,
let's have it be our contingency plan. Her dreams of being a pirate notwithstanding, because it's either she gets to play pirate or we get to be rulers of new nations on the wealth that we get from this. So, I have a vested interest in making sure that plan goes through.
All right, you guys have about 3 hours before the ships untie and resume course.
I think it is a good idea, though, regardless what plan we opt for, is to start. Right, internet. Okay, back. It's a good idea to start organizing a mutiny.
Against who? You're the captain of.
Well, they love me. They don't love the other captains.
There are 3 captains, one for each ship.
Is
The
Jack
captains
one of
are Evatala, Edgar Parrington, and Slafan.
Yeah.
Slafan is like an Aptian dude, right? Or no?
No, Slafan is Edgar's right-hand man.
Gotcha.
So
Isn't he a creepy motherfucker, though?
he's a creepy motherfucker.
Yeah. The thing is that
Perfect.
what we've been doing is we've been trying to make the crew love me and not love the other captains.
Here we go. This is it. The crew mutinies against all 3 ships, including Evatala. Evatala gets to get away. The crew gets blamed for stealing the treasure because they took the ships. And then Evatala gets to lead a double life as the pirate captain of a fleet of 3 ships because they really do love you. But you're in on the mutiny.
I like this idea.
You get an alter ego.
And everyone on all 3 ships is pretty pleased with Dasco right now because of the party he threw.
Right. So is this about Dasco spreading that idea throughout the crew, organizing it, pulling it off, where Avatala just hopped on a lifeboat or something and rows away?
Well, we just put you in the cargo hold with a door. That's not a problem.
If the doors are working, yes.
But yeah.
Which they won't for very much longer. We have 3 hours, and we don't know how much range we have left. Yes, or has the range stopped at this point?
You have not done any research into that yet. So the door currently operates, but it operates at reduced capacity, and you're not sure how much further out it will continue to operate.
I did try a roll to see, and just figured out that it was distance.
All right, so let's just go through and give everybody a chance to do one last thing before we close down. So, not quite to closing ceremonies yet, but let's give everybody a chance to do something in these remaining 3 hours you guys have before it unties. I know there's currently a plan to do things, so I'm going to start with Dasco. What would you like to be doing?
Well, the main thing for me is clarifying whether or not I need to get off this ship because it's going to explode. Because that's my primary concern. But I'm going to continue to spread rumors around, and I'm going to go ahead and start spreading around like some I like to call them tracer rumors, just in case I need them in the future. Just little things. I'm just going to make little comments here and there about stuff like the other guy that's in charge that I don't like, that's annoyed with me. I'm going to just make some random comments and just like just walking by and like looking at one of the guys and being like, did you see like smoke coming out of his hair or something? I thought I saw smoke coming out of his hair. You know, I'm just gonna spread some random things that if I have to drop that this guy's probably got cinder, it's not gonna come out as weird. And you know what? Maybe it'll just spread itself.
Are you on board with the crew's plan for you to start a mutiny?
Oh yeah, no, I'm super happy. I was gonna start a mutiny anyway, just because I thought it would be interesting, and it my cat's going crazy, and it would follow my general theme of how I succeed in situations, of making those situations as confusing and complicated as possible, such that I can figure out how I can come out on top. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue that process, and basically foment like discontent with the other captains, with the leadership, with the idea that we're taking all this money that belongs to the good people of Celebre to fund a war with Aptus. Like, I'm just going to go whole crazy about it.
Oh yeah, let's go.
It's like, just doesn't make sense to me. These people caused Cinder, burned down half of Celebre, and the mining cooperative is just taking the money right out of Celebre, go fund it. You think? And so the people who aren't on board with that, I just switch up to, you honestly think Celebre is going to let us get out of the harbor? Like, once we get to Half Elven, you think these ships are going to continue to sail? Just to put the fear in them, if they're not on my side.
Okay.
Listen, if there's Apthian sympathizers in this crowd, just tell me where I can find them so I can throw them overboard.
Which brings up another point, Rurik. You are still believed to be in the employ of the mining cooperative. They think that you're on their side still. What would you like to be doing?
Report that I have ditched the door.
Oh yeah, they knew that already.
They knew. Okay, so right. They had a guy. They had this creepy motherfucker was with me.
Yeah, he put a pile of gold on the door to help weigh it down.
That's right. Hopefully, Charles's zombies are on that.
Yep.
Excellent.
That was one of the earliest clues that that's what they were doing. Yeah. Yeah, and they're continuing to do it. Now that you kind of know that, you start to see it happening all the time. Is people going in and out of the carriages with bags, trying to be nondescript, and they're just emptying treasure into the ocean.
Awesome. I guess what would my duties normally be in this time?
Security, basically. Making
Like
sure
doing the
that,
rounds?
the riffraff, there's no monsters left to fight, but you want to make sure that, the crew isn't trying to steal some of the treasure that's not theirs.
As far as I wonder if I can like foment any more additional discontent with. I don't know.
Right.
You're still in the mining cooperative's employ, so you can actually you can talk to the other mining cooperative guards and see if they're, because they're the mining cooperative. They're just hired mercenaries, just like you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to die, and they are also, if they're hired mercenaries. Celebre is the mercenary capital of the West. You would know this. mercenaries are extraordinarily loyal to Celebre as a state. That's their home. They'll fight for anybody, but they don't typically fight against Celebre because Celebre doesn't really fight against anything. But I mean,
The king of Celebre is an ex-mercenary.
yeah,
Gotcha.
right.
I mean, I guess I'll go with the pro Celebre, anti Apthian route with these guys and say, like, no disrespect to our employer, but what do you even make of all this?
Okay.
You just get them even like even uncertain. Obviously, they know, but like really digging home on the fact that this is wealth that's going to be used in basically destroying their home.
Barnabas, what would you like to be doing in the 3 hours before the ship unties?
Do we care if word gets out that there's explosives on the ships?
I feel like that's privileged information that we can leverage at a certain time
Yeah,
when
and
we need
also
to cause the most potential chaos.
also if word does get out, we can't rule out that that they will just explode them before they can be removed.
Hmm.
Did you
And
want
we
to talk
want
to the TIA? You know who their agents are. You spotted them last session.
I don't know if there's anything I would need to say to them. I'm kind of just okay with them thinking the plan is on for now. I was going to potentially help out with the mutiny by riling up some of the crew on one of the ships about, rumors about explosives and that, the crew's, dispensable basically. But I don't want to let that information out early just for the reason we were just discussing. So, why is Jax on these boats?
You don't know.
You could fulfill some personal agenda, like trying to figure out what the fuck he's on these boats for.
You could. Do you want to reveal yourself to Jax?
No, I don't know if I'm ready to do that. But I do want to. I think I want to get on whatever boat he's on before the boats separate.
Okay.
Is that a different boat than? I mean, I guess that's a different boat than Evitala's.
Yes. So we'll call Evitala's boat number 1, and Edgar's boat number 2. Slafan and Jax are on boat number 3.
Is everyone else going to be on Evitala's boat?
It seems that way, except possibly Rurik.
I'm wherever I'm assigned, basically.
And right now you're kind of assigned to be Edgar's bodyguard-ish. He's not really in any particular danger right now, but his main bodyguard is missing in action. So,
How many of those extra doors do we have?
the fake ones?
Mm-hmm.
Probably like 3 or 4 left, right? You only used 1.
They're fake, right? I mean, when you say used, like, there's nothing you can do with them, right?
Right. By used, I mean that Rurik threw one over the side of the ship, and then Slafan weighed it down with gold to sink it into the ocean. So,
Yeah. If
consumed might be the better term for it.
if people caught wind that there were fake doors, would that?
Most people on this boat don't even know what the doors are or are for.
Okay, for now, I want to get on whatever boat Jax is on. I'll figure out if I can try and suss out why he's there. I don't know if in the next couple hours, I can figure that out. I'm still going to be in disguise as...
The first mate of...
I think I should probably switch disguises to just any old average crew member. I want to just look like... I want to blend in.
Like be somebody he wouldn't notice, like somebody who's sweeping up trash or dishwasher or some shit like that.
Alrighty. Next up then is Charles. What would you like to be doing?
I'm going to be doing just spending my time in the cabin. I'm just so I can maintain like mentally, and also I'm going to slowly work up a spell to basically be a necromantic version of water breathing, where I basically make it so I don't have to breathe.
Okay. We'll call it comfortable drowning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's necromancy. It's not like it's going to sustain you in a state of living, but it will take your death and make it
Less bad.
less bad, and maybe last longer.
You know what it's good for? It's so you can live a certain amount of time, basically, in that situation, having no oxygen. So it could make it possible for you to fully exert your full faculties in the amount of time that normally you would be unconscious.
Yeah.
That's
that would
the
work.
only benefit you could have, basically. It's like you still need air, but you have time to be fully cognizant of what you're doing so you can prepare your next move. I feel like that's, I don't know. Because
That is
other than that, you're still going to die. Like, your body literally needs oxygen.
It's a reasonable interpretation of that from a necromantic standpoint.
Aventala could, in theory, come up with some water breathing magic, but probably not with necromancy.
Yeah, it would need to be either from the School of Alteration or the School of Invocation.
You need to have a prepared spell of perfect teleportation ready for whenever you need to pop it off.
Yeah, I guess I was more like sort of like sort of like an undead form, like like I don't know if that would still be under necromancy, where you turn your you become like a undead version of yourself, but like for a certain amount of time.
Like just hanging out in the between life and death state, basically.
So you like get the
A
benefits
suspended
of being
animation
undead.
kind of deal.
Yeah, and you can shift out after a certain amount of time.
All right. There'd probably be some significant study that would need to be done to come up with a spell, but I think I would call it something like Preview of Death, where you temporarily go to the state that you will be in when you die, and then come back out of it later.
So my question, I guess, is like, what is the function? How does it like confer benefits to you to be in that state? And like, why would you do it?
It seems like the point of it is to breathe underwater, or not need to breathe while underwater, something like that, right?
Yeah.
So you become a zombie temporarily, and then revert back after the spell ends.
Yeah.
I feel like that's super dangerous.
Oh yeah, especially as an improvisation.
Dying is easy. Coming back is different. I mean, you would know that. You're a necromancer.
Yeah.
An unlife is not the same as life.
It is slightly easier when the reason you're a zombie to begin with is your own fault. Because then you at least know the parameters going into it of what's causing each of these things. But yeah, generally this is a rough one. This is a powerful spell. It has way more applications than you might think. This is one of those spells that could be a puzzle piece to a lot of really crazy stuff. But yeah. Not impossible, but improvising it under these circumstances without a proper laboratory is going to be incredibly dangerous. Just be aware of that.
This is like, like I'm writing my master's on how to do this kind of level of, like, you're going to need some time.
And with the spell you've already prepared, I don't think you're necessarily going to need it. But
you should just raise up some undead dolphins, and you can just ride those sons of bitches, or some turtles. That's easier. That's fucking easier than trying to figure out how do I not die while I'm underwater. You can already raise undead. I support your academic endeavors, but I'm just saying it's easier to have an undead whale.
Yeah.
Now that's given me the idea of raising an undead whale being intentionally small,
Yes, and then I have a bubble in my shield that
and
we
then
can use temporarily. That gives us breathable air.
Yeah, you've got that shield now.
Yeah. Undead whale, come on.
All right. Let's see. Next up is Duftle. He's not here. So, Avatala, what would you like to be doing during these 3 hours?
Well, I'm going to ask the question that nobody's asking, and that's ask Charles where the treasure's going. So, go ahead.
Let's go into a safe place.
Where is that safe place?
Can't you just have your fish ask? And by
Also-
ask, I mean follow the Tom's treasure.
Also, you're his boss.
Yeah.
But the less I say out in the open,
We can pop through the doors real quick if you need to talk in there.
Would that sever his connection?
Not as long as the door stays open.
Hmm. It's just becoming an issue.
It is becoming an issue. It'll become
Well, we
more of
have-
an issue when you guys untie and start sailing away.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We have like 3 hours. Like, if you are that paranoid that I need to go step out there, let's do it now before we lose access to that.
Yeah, but if he goes in and closes the door, then the zombies stop working.
We aren't closing the door.
But then why is it?
but if someone was bugging the room, they would still be able, or hearing into the room, they would still hear people in the door. And that's
Do you have access to, like, can you do like a cone of silence kind of a deal situation?
If you, if Charles will tell me, yeah, I will. I mean, I could just reestablish our communication network before any of you all go out.
Yeah.
I could just reestablish that. I'll do that.
Okay. Go ahead and cast spell. You're getting used to that spell now. It's like going to be on your spell book by the time this is done.
Yeah, I think that's like the 3rd or 4th time I've set it up. 4th.
Yep.
All right.
All right, the Whisper spell is back up and running for the day. That will continue on into next session. So we're going to be ending this one shortly.
So I'm going to ask Charles again through the Whisper spell where he's putting the treasure.
it's on a pirate ship.
Oh, it's his pirate ship. Because he's got a skeleton crew.
I would
Genius.
prefer to hear that from Tyson.
Sorry.
But yes.
Yeah, well, it's technically not crewed yet.
It's just there, I imagine.
It's just laying on the bottom of the
Okay.
spot.
That's
Several sessions ago, he spent some time specifically researching historical shipwrecks and has been picking out the perfect spot this entire time.
It's all working out.
all
It's
right.
all coming to plan.
In that case, Zombie Fish will just keep an eye on it. While I continue my duties as captain, as a very interested in the crew's personal lives captain.
Alrighty. And Remy, what would you like to be doing during these 3-hour periods?
All right. God. I don't even know what we need done at this point.
I mean, theoretically, we could just arrive.
Lay down in a hammock and take a nap is an option.
Yeah. Do we still need to sabotage their doors so they don't work anymore?
It seems
No.
like you want them to work now
I
because
know.
yeah, every piece of treasure they're tossing over the side, thinking that it's going to their base, is actually going to your little sunken treasure ship.
Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna rest on a hammock.
Okay, recover 2 tacks.
Yes.
All right, so that's everybody. One last thing before we go. Rurik, with all the rumors spreading around, Edgar pulls you into his office real quick and says, so it seems like enough time has passed that I'm pretty confident that Delia is not coming back anytime soon. And this is unfortunate because there were a lot of responsibilities she had that I'm hoping I can trust you to take care of. Are you feeling up to taking on more of her responsibilities? I know this is a big ask, and I can have Slafan do this if this is outside of what you're able to do.
I'm willing to do what you need, boss.
All right. So once we get underway again, when I give you the signal, I'm going to need you to organize killing off the crew.
With what forces?
With the forces that we have, and then once the sailors are all dead, then I'll need you to turn on them and kill our forces as well.
Understood.
And that's where we're going to end things for tonight.
All right. I'd like to give one to Jackie for like for the whole scene of like realizing that they were. Well, at first they were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna beat the crap out of the guy," and then realizing they were like, "Oh, I'm about to beat the crap out of a guy holding a freaking nuke." That's not gonna work. I want to give one to Eben for basically getting basically all the zombies under control, because he was all his coordination with his powers to be able to get that to work. I'd like to give one to Echelon for basically being Davos and like freaking always sowing those seeds of doubt and stuff while trying to make a profit. Rav for being a fabulous captain as usual. You know, even going back in time and rewriting time to be always have been a fabulous captain. And I'd like to give one to Shifty for always always being there. You know, especially being a gargoyle sometimes.
Straight up heard the Batman theme, Batman animated series theme in my head. It's just flying off the off of the mausoleum. Good shit.
No, you
I'll
go. You go.
Kristen for fucking being Batman. That was probably the most epic Gene Parmesan reveal so far in our game. I feel like I was a gargoyle the whole time and you landed right underneath me is an amazing Master of Disguise moment. Chris for just shadow stepping us to the fight so that we didn't have to deal with my absolute dog shit stealth rolls. Thank you for that. Vivian for organizing a mutiny somehow against yourself. We're going to definitely need to accelerate that plan next session because bad shit's going to happen soon. Let's see. Tice, your well-laid plans are coming to fruition here. Like your pirate ship, the necromantic research is really paying off, and it's just really nice that something that you worked on so many sessions ago is finally bearing fruit with this whole plan. Like it's all working out so beautifully. Ed for being a sneaky guy and just always having that silver tongue and just, offering. He's like, yeah, just offer him everything he wants. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. I think that's everyone.
I'll go now. Point to Tice for for having the genius to have a shipwreck be the destination of all of our treasure, and just be able to raise that at will. I now see why you wanted to be able to breathe underwater. I'm sure we will figure out a way around that. A point to Kristen for the awesome angry flying squirrel impression. Um, it Yeah, the idea of Barnabas being the one holding the axe and all the cards is very funny to me. I enjoy that a lot. A point to Ed for just being our in with the crew. Being able to just sow all the seeds of doubt throughout the 3 ships. And now, I mean, we need to accelerate that plan, but Edgar's also just handed us a golden ticket to that plan. Um, a point to Chris for organizing that entire flashback scene that allowed us to have control of the zombies and make our job with getting the treasure trivial. And a point to Jackie for just ending what could have been a very dangerous fight with half our crew in what was basically one hit.
Yeah, so I just want to give one kind of as a group one to everyone for the time travel thing, the flashback. Like that was pretty epic. That was that was a big teamwork effort. I'm not even entirely clear what we did other than just taking over the gigantic zombies things, and I'm not really sure when this guy's going to come back or what we've promised him or how any of that's going to work out. That's fine. We'll figure that out as we go. But I think that was a pretty good use of the flashback power, and everybody kind of came together to make that happen. So, and make sure that Jackie didn't explode in the middle of it. So,
Thank you. I like a lot not exploding. It's really good. Very strong, but explosions are bad.
Personally, I like my level of explosions to be as low as possible.
Yeah, everyone's gonna get a point too. I think that's one of the first flashbacks we did that pretty much used everybody for one like team effort. So that was pretty awesome. Jackie for being a one-hit wonder with the shield. Ed for using your expertise to get us something that we needed versus something for one of your little side jobs. Viv for whose idea of stealth is still to be as fabulous as possible. Kristen for yeah, just imagining like a little gremlin jumping out on top of the axe. So thank you for that. And Tice for the preemptive counter spell. And I think that's it.
All right, I will jump in. A point to Evatala for really embodying this ship captain thing to the point of wanting to save the ships, even though maybe strategically it might be more challenging to pull off. A point to Remy for the master flashback plan and getting that going. A point to Rorik for spreading the explosions around so we didn't have like one giant nuclear bomb. Although it was maybe a little bit scary to know we were in a minefield. Yep. And then a point to Charles for now fully controlling the conga zombie line with all of our treasure. Well, hopefully it's our treasure and not just Charles's treasure. But and a point to Dasco for acquiring the shield for us seamlessly.
Yes.
And I think I got everyone there.
Is that everybody? Did everybody get a chance?
I believe so.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. And we actually did like 2 weeks in a row. That's awesome. We will pick this up. It seems like you guys are on the verge of having the treasure and ending the story. So that's exciting.
I mean, it could go to shit, you know.
Yeah, we'll see how chaotic things get as you attempt your mutiny, figure out whether or not you're blowing up the ships. We find out how many of these sailors survive your catastrophes, and yeah, coins get counted and consequences to the world become known.
I hope it doesn't end up in Naphthys's hands, man. That would be a bummer. Bummer town.
Yeah.
Like super bummer town. Not good for the heroes that we play in other parts of this world.
Yeah,
I'm not even like fully well versed in the lore behind Aptus, but
They're
they
bad.
sound really bad.
Real bad. Think fucking COVID is bad? Wait till you accidentally kill people by turning a candle on or some shit. I don't know.
Apthis is a country that is ruled by a cadre of demons that force the people to worship them. There's this other sort of underlying belief in elementals and worshiping elementals as being scary things, but the main feature is that there's a hierarchy of demons that all have their various aspects, and they tell the people what to do. There's no real economy to it. Like they issue their orders, they grant magic powers to the people who follow them, and they're all very, very bad. They're reduced in number now. There's not as many of them as there used to be, but they're the Bone Tyrant as the one responsible for a plague that just causes your bones to start growing spikes that pierce your skin and eventually tear you to shreds. The Oracle is the one responsible for Cinder, which if you get ash on you from that plague, it slowly starts to just turn you into a burning thing until you burn to death, and then your ashes become infectious to others. There's the Fade, where you just fade out of existence if it gets too dark. And you're never seen again because you're deleted from the universe or something. Yeah, they're all incredibly horrifying, incredibly infectious diseases that are magical in origin, and the whole thing about the plagues is that it was just a contest because one of their members had perished, and they needed to figure out who was on top of the totem pole, or what the order was on the totem pole. So they just had a contest to see who could make the worst plague and cause the most horror and suffering in the world. Yeah, that's Amphis.
Yeah, that's it. Not an expert. Sounds kind of bad.
Yeah, I'm still happy I stole that spoon from them.
You might understand now why a character decided to drop a moon on their main city. He didn't know it was going to be a moon. He just knew it was going to be big. But it ended up being a moon.
Sliver is mostly impacted by Cinder. But the Baron and the Middle Kingdoms area had like bones for thought lice. The dwarves got hit by wasting super duper hard.
Oh, wasting is so evil. So wasting, you become paranoid that food is bad, and you try to destroy it. Not just for yourself, but you think that food will hurt other people as well. So you go out of your way to destroy food so that other people won't get hurt by it. And at the same time, anyone who hears your random babbling about food being bad becomes infected.
Yeah.
Just by hearing you talk about it.
Yeah, we had to go investigate a city like that.
Yeah, and then Shade was like kind of northern Celebre, and then Blood Freeze was the one that was that kind of hit the centaurs really hard out in Kylogan and the halflings. But
all of this
didn't really
is
make
sounding
it
really
further
heavy
into
fucking
the rest.
metal, Like, there should just be, like, weird priestesses with, like, metal on their heads. It's, like, raining blood. I don't know. Like, it's, like, that's the kind of shit we're talking about here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like any normal heavy metal band cover for an album. Just a normal cover of an album for a metal band.
Kristen's werebear did cause it to rain blood.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the blood god's different. Different thing. That's a different issue that she has to deal with. That type of.
She just had a
that
flare
group-
up. Okay, we
that
shouldn't
group had to
shame
deal
her.
with.
Is that while she was having bear cocaine or after?
It's probably at
Yes.
the same time. Yeah.
I have so many questions. I don't know if I want any answered.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and we'll pick this up next week.